Good Monday, everybody. Hey, Ivan. How's it going, man? Welcome to another week. Morning, Chris. How you guys doing? How was your weekend? I must say, okay, honest, honest me time here. Let me place that microphone so I can talk into it, but you guys can't see it. And cranking out my mix. Da-da-da. Maybe I can just turn down the music. Cause I got the same background music as you guys do. Jeff Richmond, howdy. How's it going? I don't remember seeing you around. Welcome. Uh, Sorry, guys. Facebook Messenger just keep on bugging me. I guess you all sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and basically people just come in. They want to know what you got for sale. They want to know why you sell it, and they just disappear. This is the kind of message that I just got. But for the good of that stream, I'm just gonna put my phone into D&D mode, do not disturb, and we're gonna have fun together as Wing Lover, not the band. Okay, not funny at all. From Heaven, what do you do this weekend? Finally, free weekend. Next weekend, you got 2 gig Friday and Saturday. I had a 1 gig Saturday. Some of you saw my short. Actually, tell me if you guys see my short video, because I try to post them when I'm on a gig, just for fun. But if you saw my short video on YouTube, was in a old church that was repurposed as a venue, so band just now play there, community get together there and listen to good music, good band. I did a country act. It was the first time working with that beautiful lady that is Veronique Labbe. For those of you who could be a fan of French country, probably not a lot of you guys, but okay, good. You see them, good. So yeah, I got a vlog coming up. It was something. It was something. I don't miss reverby room at all. I did show outside this summer, and yeah, it makes me appreciate. Well, doing the show that I did Saturday made me appreciate Moo Moo Country. Oh yeah, Moo Moo Country. Talking about country stuff. Moo Moo Country. Um. Oh no. Okay, Jeff. I'm gonna read your comment. I'm sorry. I'm gonna disappoint you. Ever use mixing station with Wing? Yes, I did. First show with Wing last night. Wing and mixing station did agreed on mute on and off, and I couldn't rename the channel from mixing station. Try an iPad and enjoy it. I did an overview of mixing station with the Wing. I changed iPad 3 times. It was like a rough time for me to do that, but eventually it will come. Actually, one of the viewer bought me the pro version so I can try it, because I was not interested in trying it, and not that I don't like mixing station. It's just when I when I go out with the Wing, I want to have physical fader. I want to mix with a console. When I'm forced to have an iPad, when I'm forced to do my X32 core with my DL251, it's because I cannot bring the Wing with me. So, this is why I'm not that interested. Nothing against the product. It's just when I go out with the wing, I want to have fader. I want to have a console. This is why I didn't look at it. But it's sad. I find it sad that you have a hard time with it. I see a lot of people getting good result. A lot of people are really happy with it. But I'm sorry, I cannot help you with that kind of troubleshoot. Maybe it was network. Maybe you had a hard time. Your iPad had a hard time communicate with the console over the network. If you, I'm gonna give you some general. Oh yeah, so if it's 100% solid with the X32 and the M32, maybe it has something to do with maybe that room, same network. Okay, well, same network. So you know all the network stuff. Try to be the only, try to have the console the only thing on that network, so nobody connected. Try to hide the SSID, so hide the router name, so nobody will try to join in on that router for no reason. I had that actually happening to me in a festival. I had a unlock router back in the day, and I was like, why would I lock it? There is no internet. You cannot do anything if you don't know the IP of the console. And you actually, if you wanted to connect to it, you need to have the app, knowing the IP of the console, and then know your way around the software to play with my stuff. So I was like, yeah, nobody's gonna do that. So I was running an open wireless, and in a festival around, I would say it was big. So let's say a 10,000 festival, maybe a couple thousand of them try to connect to that network for to get free Wi-Fi. So my network was just struggling. It almost crashed because it's not made to get that many connection. And I think some Android phone, maybe you guys can help me with that. I think some Android phone just see a free network and just try to connect to it. So maybe this is what happened. But yeah, you probably know this stuff from Ivan. Finally, new firmware came out. Wanting to update the console, just waiting. New feature to convert matrices to bus when it comes. Matrices to bus. Um, Let me see something. You can send. Can you send channel to matrices, or can you send only bus to matrices? Hold on. Can you? Hmm. Can you? Can you? No, you can't. I don't think you can send any channel to matrices. You can send a bus to a matrix. So that's my main. My mains should be able to do that. Let's grab a bus just for fun. Hold on. My console still not registering the MIDI, so I have to switch manually today. I'm sorry for that. But I'm checking out. Here we have a really dark console. Hold on. Probably better. Um, yeah, I know the Yamaha can. Back in the day, I used to do 12 stereo in-ear mixes on M7CL. Was a really cool trick, but I can do 16 with the wing, or let's say I'm keeping two for effect. You can do 14. That's enough for most use case scenario. Let's be honest. But I don't think you can send channel to matrices. Seriously, why do you need? I'm curious to ask. Why do you need so many um, bus send? Before I go too far, let me read the chat from Chris. Help with card input routing. Trying to route from USB multitrack to SD card. What are you trying to do exactly, Chris? You want to send your stuff from the SD card to the computer, or do you want to send, or you want to record something that you have on a computer on SD card? Let me know. I will guide you through that. Mm-mm-mm. And the Midas broken. Can we? I remember. How did I did that back in the day? I used to do a show with like too many outputs. I was using something like 21. Like it was nine musician on stage, stereo in the air, plus a pair of side field, plus a bend gear guy, plus whatever. And I don't remember if I used the matrices. Probably you can just send to matrices pre-fader, and that will do it. Jeff, I couldn't figure out quickly how to send delay effect return into the reverb effect bus using bus 13 and 14. Um, on the wing, if you want to send a bus into a bus, you need to use the first eight one, like exactly the page that I got here. This is my bus one that I have selected now. If I go, why is there an EQ there? And I want to make sure it's out. Sorry. Here we go. Let's go here in the bottom in the send. If you want to take an effect, let's say from 13 to 14 and send it into a bus, you cannot do that from a send a bus to a bus. You need to send that effect into a channel, use it as a stereo effect return, and then send that into the reverb. This is something that I would like to change. Seriously, I would prefer honestly the other way around. Or I would like to have both, seriously. But the way I don't know if it's a processing thing or if it's a maximum capability, but sending a bus into a bus is good for effect, but it comes. Sorry, I'm trying to think when I'm speaking, and it's not something that is easy to do. Seriously, um, I would like to have at least the option on each channel to say, okay, I cannot send it to the 16 buses. Can I at least from this bus can I send into these bus or the other way around? Let's say from bus nine and up, can I could I send into bus nine and up? I understand the reason why they did it that way is to have your effect, let's say on bus 15, and send it into your eight musician uh, into the effect, well, into their in-ear monitor. You want to send reverb to the singer, that type of stuff. This is why they did it that way. Sorry, if I sound confusing here. Let me rephrase that so it will sound less confusing. The way the system is built now is so you can take any 16 buses, put an effects on it, and send it to your musician into 1 through 8, the first 8 bus, and send that also to matrices. I would like to have it the other way around. Seriously, I would like to have my 16 buses being able to send into 16 buses, because on my delay, I always send my delay into a reverb and then it goes out to the PA. What we could do a workaround, like I have actually my delay here, is to change the chain, and I'm gonna move my delay in the signal chain. I'm gonna put a reverb here instead. Is it okay if I do that? Yes, it is. I'm gonna assign that reverb, and that way my signal chain is now a delay going into a reverb. But there's a but. Now I cannot do the bus mute thing where I usually for my delay keep my send all the time in my delay, and I assign my bus to a mute group. So that way when I want to do some delay trick, I just unmute the mute group, send my vocal to into the delay, mute my mute group back again, and I can just tail out some word, and mute it back. I cannot do this now. It will not work. Or no, you cannot reassign stuff in there. So yeah, it's you're losing that ability. So you would have to ride the bus, the overall bus, and I think will affect. Um, no, it will not cut the input of the delay. So yeah, It's it's still not there on that. We're still not there on that. Ivan, you got a monitor and 8 stereo in here for orchestra. Okay. So you need the 16 bus for that. Yeah, you're running out. Let's be honest, this is not a so common thing. Not a lot of people will have that many monitor and in-ear monitor running. So I understand why you would want that. It makes sense. Maybe, maybe. Well, we can ask, but I'm sure somebody asked that before. But maybe I can ask for that in the future, and maybe we can have both 16 buses and matrices coming out of the bus and having my channel coming out. It could. I mean, I don't see any reason why it cannot happen. I see the complexity on the programming level where you need to have so many output, but yeah, it's yeah. Okay, so from computer, you want the route from computer to SD card. Let's do that now. So Chris, it will all happen in the routing. We will go into sources or hold on. I never one day I will get it. We want to have the W live rec, so that will be into output. It doesn't make sense to me the way the whole thing is routed, but I'm just learning to struggle through it. So I basically have the same thing here. Um, USB 1 and 2, which is my input 1 and 2. Right now, my console is set for USB 2 channels, so only 1 and 2 are available to pick, but I can patch them. What we need to do, what you need to do, is go into output, routing, W live rec, USB. That will be your USB sources, and just assign everything here. Did I get that right? No, I got that wrong. 1, 2. No. Come on. 1, 2, 3. Did I get it right? Yeah. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. And I just checking that everything is following. And I can that way send out 32 channel. Oh, I messed up. This is totally wrong. So 17, 18, 19, 20. That way. Here we go. No, that's good. So right now, if you start record on your SD card, press record here, you should have the W Live Rec, which is the SD card, as a source, the USB. You should be good to go with that. I use MixStation and WinQ Copilot with no problem. Yeah, usually it works fine. Maybe Jeff, you had a bad time. Exactly, Jeff. You can send. You think you can take a bus as a source and send that as a return to any other bus or matrices. No, not matrices. You can send the matrix to the matrices through the bus, but you can send the channel if the source is a bus and send it wherever. That will work. Mm. Any setting you need to adjust or default? By the way, 1.12.6 is out, Jeff. So I suggest you to update to that firmware if you didn't. It's not adding much, it's only adding mouse support. What's that mean is you can plug in the top, on the top left here, a mouse, a USB mouse, and you can control with a cursor on the screen anything. If you have bad touchscreen problem, you can do that right there. User Ultra for some in here. Not sure to follow what you got going there, Pancho. Sorry. This situation in Warner you per year. Oh, really? You happen to do that much? Okay. Hi, Colin. Maybe they can make Matrix into Flex Bus in future firmware. Maybe they could. This is something that can happen. So, I mean, this is all software based. It's not physical interface, so a lot of things can happen software wise. Maybe in firmware 2.0, they can do that. Mm-mm-mm. We'll try that in a bit. Thanks. Good for the P16. Oh yeah, the P16 could be an option. Well, it's not. Honestly, with the wing, I would not use the P16. I would go with the DP48. The DP48 have the 48 channel available, or 28. Yeah, monitor DP48 for sure. It's way superior in the fact that you can have all the input in or other stuff. You can have 48 input mono sources, but you can send bus if you wanted to. You can send any. Well, let's take a look at that just for fun. Let's go AS50A as an example, or this is AEA AS50. This is AES50A output. So whatever you could send out, let's say the first one are usually your monitor, 15 and 16 is usually your PA. Let's say that you're not using anything on stage, your PA is local, and you use AS50A for your band, or use AS50 Sport C for your band so you don't mix up with your output. Whatever you will have there will go into the DP8, DP48. So you can just assign whatever you want. It could be really anything in that menu. So it could be user signal if you want to have stuff post processing. Could be bus. You can send a main. You can send the main out to 48, 47, 48, and somebody can have just the main out and push himself up a little more. You can create some effects in. It's hold on. Effects in. I got a brain fart right there. I never seen effects in the wing. Those are those are output of the rack of the effect rack. Sorry, I never seen that before. I never realized it was there before. Um. Okay, hold on. Let's go into sources. Channel. It's not there. Output. No, output. Effect source. Effect send. I'm guessing this is the output from the rack. Can I? Hmm. For some reason, my USB decided not to work today before the live stream. It never happened to me before, so I don't have anything plugged in there. My microphone is plugged into my other audio interface, but I will need to investigate that a little more. for the future. From Chris, anyone try a USB hub to see if you can get a mouse and a stick at the same time? As far as I know, only mouse or trackpad or trackball are supported with the wing. Um, yeah. I get what you mean by a stick, a USB key. No, it doesn't work. It's either or. It's not the same. You cannot do both. It won't allow you to do it. Hold on, guy. Why nobody told me that my lights were full on and I look so blasted? Hold on. There we go. Probably looking way better. Is it? Oh yeah, now it is. Why nobody told me that? I look like I had the sun in my face. Way better. Um, go fix that. Yeah, that's about it for USB. It's either or. It's not. You cannot try USB up, or you can try it, but so far nobody succeed to have a key and something else, or a mouse and something else in there. I don't think the console or the computer inside the console can register um, more than one thing at a time. What is the best way to route to the Wing Live card? Um, routing output W Live Rec is what you are sending to the SD card. So if you want to send right now, I was on effect, but you can send your local input, your AES input, your aux in, AES EBU input. You can send anything. Basically, once you selected W Live Rec here, all the option that you have in the menu in the right there, you can record these. Up to you to be creative at that point. Colin, is there a schedule for firmware update, or it just released when it's ready? Basically, it's just released when it's ready, as far as I understand. I don't have. I know there's a plan. Let's be honest with you guys. There is a plan. The guys at Music Tribe have an idea where they want to go with the console. It just takes times, because let's face it, it's like anything that release now. For the last couple of years, since we have internet and you can do a firmware update in a few seconds, every company and everybody um, just send out their product with V1 or V0 of the firmware version 0. And once you buy the product, they see the response, and the more people buying the product, the more they're gonna put time and money to make that product better. Wang, well, you have to take into consideration two things: the pandemic that hit the world, and the fact that a big audio supply chain, a big audio chip maker in China burned down. That disrupt the whole process. But usually, when something like the Wing come out, they announce it at NAM or whatever with firmware 0.1, so it worked. They have an idea where they want to go with the console. They didn't implement everything in there yet, and they just release it. Once it's released in the wild, they take user feedback. They try to add that to the plan. They fix bugs. They add features that are needed right away, like the mouse support that is just released for people who have a hard time with with the screen. So they added that out of the blue. I don't think it was in the plan to have mouse support, but they needed to find a workaround for some of the screens that going bad. So yeah, mouse support happened. So that will delay the next step in the plan. This is the reality of firmware update. People request stuff, people give out ID, they add that to the overall picture, and it just go on and on and on from there. Blue Dog, I want to record 32 tracks and mix them back. Um, After you recorded to the Wing live card, how do you route the 32 channel back to the console for individual track mixing? Gotcha, man. I got a video about that, but we're gonna do it live. This is why I'm doing these live streams. I like to have interaction with you guys. I'm with you, Blue Dog. Um, it will happen in the routing menu. What I would suggest you to do is keep your main input, because channel have two sets of input. You got the main and you got the alternate. Keep the main, whatever you had or you have for your live or your recording, and set the alternate input for the return of the USB. Now I have selected the channel up front there. I will select here the first channel, W Live Play. W Live Play is the playback from the SD card. So you will assign all your channel. I'm using the +1 option here. You will assign all the channel to your alternate input. Make sure that you created your stereo sources before doing that. That will happen into stereo if we go W Live Play. And these, my overheads are mid-side. This is a nonsense. This is stereo. Make sure that you set your source right. All your stereo input. My guitar here are stereo 13 and 14. Make sure that you set your source right. Go into channel, alternate. And yeah, basically just make sure that you have everything in the right place, using the +1 or not. I'm using this, whatever. Patch your thing. It doesn't matter. Patch your thing the way you wanted to have them back. And then you go into setup, general, or is it audio? Audio, sorry. Setup, audio, general. No. Setup, audio. Then input select, you want to select alternate. Click here and make sure that you auto input select all your alternate input. I'm gonna stop at 40. And if they are in orange here, when you will input select, or you will switch from main to alt into input select, can you see it on the console? Well, yes, you can. Right now I'm in alternate. Look at the top row here. It changed. This is my card input that are in the main. When I change, see the line is becoming white, and it's basically reversing, and it will switch the input. So if you want to do virtual sound check live, I did that before. I recorded the band for the sound check. We had to stop, but I wanted to play one more song in the PA. I was recording the sound check. I stopped, bring back the last song that they did, switch to alternate, and I just press play. And some people were really wondering what was happening, because they were taking the stuff out of the stage. They were removing pedal board from the front, and I was still mixing in the PA. So this is the option. The alternate, main versus alternate option is the way to go for you. Alternate input need to be assigned and enabled. Yes, yeah, they need to be assigned and enabled. You need to tell. Well, it's basically two action. Think it out this way. You need to tell the console what is your alternate input because it could be anything. It could be what you want, and you have to tell the console when to choose between the main and the alternate. So there you go. Headman, how's it going? It's been a long time. You've been a naughty boy. You missing stream lately, right? Good to see you, man. Just fooling with my regular. For those of you who don't know, Herman is one of the few regular who is always here, like Pancho. And it's good to see some new people. Blue Dog International. I don't remember seeing you that much around, but welcome, Colin Lynn. I think I've seen you before, but it's good to have you back. Anybody else that is not usually around here that joining us today? Let me know. I should really remove my lower third. It's getting annoying. That little thing. That little thing right there. Is it stuck? Okay. For a second, I thought it was stuck. Very busy lately. Well, it's a good thing, man. I've been busy too. This is why I look so dead because I'm so not used to. I'm so not used to shows anymore. And when I say show, it's not really the show, it's the whole thing that goes with it. Let's be honest. Um, I'll give you a life story here. I left. I'm gonna. Yeah, I sound like a guy who didn't sleep because this is exactly what I did. I woke up Saturday morning, drove for 4 hours, did a gig. We finished really early. We finished at 9:30. No, we finished at 10:30, and we changed time. We went an hour there, so it's like we finished at 9:30 that evening, really early for a show. We went to the hotel. It was like the first time that I saw some people for years. We had one too many drink, slept 4 hour, wake up. Somebody has to be back in Montreal for noon. So wake up at 7, change time. Wake up at 7, drove for 4 hour, tried to have a coffee. It's such a nightmare to be on the road now. Seriously. Um I don't know if you guys travel for a living or what shows. In Canada, the Tim Hortons, well, basically all the restaurants are closed. They don't have staff. People just never came back. So there was no place to stop for a coffee. It has to be drive through. Some, sorry guys, some drive through are still open. There's no toilet. You don't have access to anything, and your choice in restaurant and food has slimmed down to the few who survive. Like, I don't, I try not to hate fast food as less as possible. Fast food, so I usually go to grocery to buy stuff to eat. But most of the time now, even they have new schedules. So at 7 on a Sunday morning at 7, there was nothing. It was Starbucks drive through, and that's it. So it's not that everything is closed, but they changed the hour. Here we have Tim Hortons, which is a coffee shop for those of you who probably are in Europe and don't know. It's a coffee shop, uh, poor quality one. It's almost fast food, but it's the less worst fast food with coffee that is average at best. But we got those everywhere. Like it's like gas station. We seriously, every time you go in the city, there's like the church, the bank, the Tim Horton, the grocery store, and the city is done. So This is the few thing that you had for sure in the city. Tim Horton used to be 24/7. It used to be open 24 hour. Now, because they don't have staff, it's only drive through. It's only drive through, and some of them it's only drive through, not even 24 hour. They open up at 5 or 6 in the morning because they are really their rush hour is the breakfast. So they are open up at 5 or 6 in the morning, and they close by 9 or 10 at night, and that's it. Hey Adrian, what's up? So yeah, this is it. So waking up, not having a coffee, drove for an hour, came back to Montreal, came back in my bed and slept the extra 4 hour that I needed, and I'm still recovering up from that. I used to do that, but the fact that I'm gonna be 35 next month or ish, it's just I'm getting old, man. I cannot sustain that anymore. Like I used to. I need to get back in shape. It really feels like I've been sitting on my chair here talking about console instead of doing load in, load out, moving out gear. So I'm sorry, sorry, Herman, I didn't read your chat. You always watch the replay. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. In Germany, they need more workers. Yeah, but everything stayed open. Okay, good. Well, here it's not the case because let's face it. I'm in Canada. We don't have a lot of people here in Canada. We're 33 million people or 35 million people in like the second biggest country in the world. So we're really far apart one from another, except the big city like we have Toronto, where there's like probably 20 million, 25 million people. And no, maybe not 20, maybe 10. I know where I live in Quebec. The whole province is like 8 million, and we're like 5 around Montreal, or within an hour or 100 kilometer of the island, Montreal Island. So we're basically all together. As soon as you go out of that, there is people. There is few million people who are spread out around the province, but finding worker there for a bad job that don't pay well, I don't know what happened. I was actually brainstorming with my friend, and like, where did those people go? We need more worker, yes, but what has changed with the COVID? Because let's be honest, it's the COVID. It's the same thing for the tech industry, by the way. Where are those people go or gone? In the tech industry, we had a lot of people like underbidding was a really bad thing here, and all my friend now. Well, actually, I know they changed job. They changed job, but um, how expensive is house there? What where I am in Montreal? If you, I don't know the prices in Europe. This is why, but my I don't want to be too specific with number, but let's just say that around where I live, you can get a house for $300,000 Canadian, and Canada has terrible housing costs, probably the third most expensive in the world. Really? Seriously, this has happened only in the last few years because I pay like if you want to have a house that is not mushrooms and need to be torn down, if you pay 300 in the really like in the good area around the city, not in the city, forget that, but in the good suburbs around the city, you can have something decent for 300. And 5 year ago, before I bought, I pay half of that for my house. Yeah, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 or 4 years ago, it was the price. Yeah, Well, if you yeah, maybe in Munich it's the same thing, but if you go on the Montreal Island, and this is a really like an unmovable perimeter because it's an island, but if you go on the island, you don't get anything under like maybe 5,000, six uh yeah, 600,000, 500,000. But if you, as soon as you go in the suburb, as soon as you move out of the island, price drop like by a quarter. But you can definitely get something. You can get something decent for 300. You can get a decent condo even on the island for 300. Or you can get a bigger house on the surrounding. And but we don't make a lot of money. Like the I think the average Canadian salary is like around 40, 40, 45, maybe even less than that. So it's definitely doable if you're like a couple and you want to buy a house. It still can happen, but we're on the why people are complaining now is because we're on the edge of not being able to. I was lucky. I jumped in the train like at the right time, 5 year before everything went to banana. So yeah. Uh, yeah, you mean a small house? If you okay, 800K for a small house. Yeah, it's in euros. I don't know. Well, maybe you can help me out. How much is the average somebody can make in Germany? Because it's the key. I mean, if you, I'm gonna give you another example that I know. If you go in what we call here the Greater Toronto area, because the Toronto is the biggest city I think in Canada or close to. A lot of people want to live in the city. My house that is 300,000 in Montreal South Shore. If you put that really close to downtown in Toronto, it's like 1.5 million. Makes no sense. People don't own their own house in Germany on average. It's too expensive. Okay, I didn't know that. It's also around 4K. So, okay, number for number, because let's not go into the exchange value and everything, but number for number, um, yeah, that's a lot. So it's basically three times the cost here. Canada is not that bad then. And we got healthcare. I don't know for you guys. Let's be honest. I don't know about you guys. What are the social condition in Germany and healthcare and all that? But here, let's be honest. We pay a lot of taxes. I think we're the second or the, if not the biggest taxpayer in the world, or at least where I am in Quebec, we're like the biggest taxpayer in Canada. But we got free education, healthcare, social security. I mean, it's really hard to mess up here in Canada. It's really hard to die if you're not helping yourself. You can find a way, but it's really hard. The system is made so that you can um, go to work, have a house, have a roof on your head, be healthy. Doctors are free if you whatever. So none of your colleagues own a house, and you're all engineers. Okay, interesting. Because here, even I would say poor musician can figure out a way to have a house. Sometimes they are half an hour, 40 minutes from downtown. Maybe some are even an hour, hour and a half from downtown Montreal. But as soon, I mean, you're closer to another big city from there, but you can always find a way. Even if you go in the crappy places here, you can find a way to get a decent living for cheap. Interesting. Also interesting how, how we're not talking about the console anymore. I should not even call this the wing live stream. It should be called a podcast. You could try Canada after I get bored from Germany. Seriously, if you do that, you will never go back. Seriously. Canada is one of the greatest, if not the greatest country in the world to live in, I think. Um, a lot of space, not a lot of people, good quality of life to me are win-win. When I was younger, I wanted to move to the States because doing this job makes more sense in the States because I would not be stuck in a French Canadian singer market where there's only 4 or 5 million people speaking the language that the artists I work for are singing into. And it's not like, I mean, here, if you want to make it big, you have to be big in Quebec, then you have to make it in Europe. But we don't tend to export a lot of stuff to Europe. Not a lot of bands that are big here work in Europe, music style wise. So it wouldn't make sense, way more sense for me to move to the States. But with with the COVID, with how things in life are going, I'm just gonna shut it and say I'm happy to be in Canada. When I look around and I look other countries, other life condition country, whew, I'm good here. I'm really good, and I have nothing to complain about. Seriously. Okay, I see some question about the wing in the chat. Once your wing lifeguard is set up, and you have recorded 2 to 2 tracks, and you go to play them back, do you have to switch each channel to hear the audio return, or will be automatic? You have to switch. I this is why I suggest you to use the main and alternate input method. This is switching the whole console at one time. So set your input that you want to record in on the main, or just record them straight to your card. Click Alt. It will change the input of all the channel, and your channel will have the playback of what you just recorded. Basically. One question from Herman. Did you ever feel the need to use an external plugin or a computer like Waves? I wish I could, but most of the time I'm really fine with what we have in the wing. I'm not a huge like I'm not a huge strip manipulator. What I mean is when I'm when I have a gate or everything that you have, hold on. I want to show you guys. When you have on the gate all these options, when you have an EQ, I'm gonna reset that. When you have that many choice of compressor emulation, when you have two insert of stuff like it could be any of these plugins, could be any of these, could be the triple dynamic EQ, could be the channel strip, and you have two options for that. Seriously, I I no, I don't need to play. I don't need to process that input more than that for rock and roll. Let's let's be honest. What I do is mostly rock and roll. Even if I'm doing country music, even if I'm doing hip hop, the most stuff that I do in mix is um, rock and roll band. So on a kick drum, do you need more? I don't want that. Thank you. Uh, do you need more than a gate, an EQ, a compressor, and maybe one insert? If you do, there's probably something wrong with the bass drum itself. It's not natural. I can enhance some stuff. I actually have some. plugin ID did I need to send to Behringer? You guys probably know what I'm talking about. I've talked about that before, but no, seriously, I could use a Wave C6 from time to time, but with the triple dynamic EQ, I can get away with it. Other than that, I try to think what else. I mean, for what I do, for the kind of show that I'm doing, most of the time my worst enemy is the PA in the room. I can make it sound really good into in-ear monitor with that. Really, really good. So when I design my channel strip to be perfect, I just EQ the PA until it sounds good. And seriously, I'm getting good comment with that. So yeah, I don't think I need the wave. Could be fun to have, but I don't need it. Question from oh, I said Adrian later. No, it's Arie Villager. Villager? Sorry if I butchered that. Every time I try to download the firmware, or at least the last one. Every time I try to download firmware update, the last one is no give me the zip. You don't need the zip. You need the dot. I think it's wing FW or WF wing WF file. Mm. But if you just to make sure, are you trying to download 12.6, 1.12.6? If you do, let me know, my friend. I want to make sure that you can update your console. I'll give you some more help if you need to. From Illuminux, hey, how's it going? Are where in what hotel are you today, my friend? One question: is there a difference in implementation between using a Dente card versus expansion slot? I'm missing out on input. You're missing out on input. And anything and I'm missing out on using anything by using the expansion. Well, I like the okay. The Behringer wing is a perfect setup for me because you can have an internal card, and that is if you can put your hand on one. They are really hard to get right now. I like to me the wing has everything that I would need. The SD card recorder is great for live show. I love it. I use it all the time. I can just stick an SD card in there, forget about it, press record, love it. 32 input is usually enough for me to record. You can go up to 64. If you're missing on input with the 3AS50, that's 3 times 48 channel. I don't know how many channel you want to run, but I don't think you can even mix that many. Well, you cannot mix that many on the console. But you're not really missing anything if you swap the card. I would say if you can have your N on the official wing card, ask your local dealer to try to put that card inside if you can. That would be my option because you can have I've been transparent about that. I have in my console a Dente card that I found used somewhere and it's not working, so this is why I recommend you not to do that yourself. Do not upgrade the console yourself. I voided my warranty and it's not working. So it's a lost situation for me. I got it for really cheap, so cross my finger that if I cannot get it to work, I can flip it on eBay to somebody that will make it work. But yeah, I would say try to get the internal card as soon as possible and try to do not get rid of your expansion card. But if you get an external expansion card, just put Dente in it, and yeah, you're not missing on anything. From Herman, last week I had to mix on the Soundcraft again, and wow, I missed the Wing plugin so much. Yeah, I did the show on the X32, and I felt limited a little bit. I can get away with an X32, no problem with that, but If I have the option, I would have taken a couple of plugin or option for plugin there. Will there be any difference between using the external plugin via USB or Dante? I don't think so. Latency is something that you need to take care of if you are using a computer in and out. Make sure if you do that to, hmm, I would say, make sure if you want to use external stuff, if you don't have much, you can use the effect. Here we have the external effect. I will patch that somewhere just so we can take a look at it and use it in the second. Um, use it in the second. Hold on. Try to always use your external effect in the second effect slot if possible, because that way you it will not affect what's going in the monitor. So if you have latency, you should be good to go. It will not introduce latency in. I see a little latency option there. I don't know what this is. Maybe it can time align back everything for you and make sure that you're not creating some noticeable latency. I didn't experiment with that, but definitely take a look at the external effect rack. This is made to insert stuff on channels. It would be cool if they make a leg style EQ for PA. Either on the input on the insert. Well, okay, let's take a look at what we have in there. I'm not gonna use this one. I'm gonna use this one. Have you taken a look at not this one at the? Oh, am I in the wrong section? No, speaker manager. It's not a lake. It will never be a lake, but it's really close. Well, you have all the stuff that you need to work with speakers. You have two high pass, low pass, and a tilt EQ. You have a rotary phase, so it's not just a phase flip. Actually, you have both, but you can rotate the phase not 180 degree. You can go in between. You have a precision delay and a position, so that's a left-right delay. And this unit is stereo. Also, you have a dynamic EQ. So if you need to dynamic EQ your PA, you can do that only for some frequencies. And you also have a hard limiter that will protect your speaker if anything. So it's not a lake, but it's really close. And I'm gonna say the fact that Lake is now owned by Music Tribe, probably some of the coding come from that. And this is an insert. You can insert that on your PA like any other plugin. So processor wise, crossover light wise, really close. Yeah, Pancho, I cannot recommend you to do that. It's only 5 screw. Well, there's more screw on the console to take that out, but yeah, let's just say that you could theoretically do that, and it should be really close from working. But I do not recommend it. That's my official statement here. I do not recommend it. I just like the more squared EQ filter. Make it easy on certain speakers. Yes, it is. Well, square. I think we have 48 dB of cut on each, or up to 48 dB on each crossover point. That's pretty square. If you want to use, let's say, that on a vocal to make sure that nothing goes below 100, you can definitely do that. Is it the hardest curve, the Butterworth, or the... Yeah, the Butterworth is the hardest curve. Butterworth 48 dB. Yeah, Butterworth 48 dB. That's pretty much square. Another wing question. Is there's a way to set metering or loudness? Metering to loudness, like you talking about LUFS filter. It's not in there yet. It's as far as I know, it's only metering by VU, so it's not RMS. It's not. Or maybe you have the option to peak versus RMS, but you don't have any kind of LUFS. Oh, Ivan, you're using dynamic EQ for PA tuning. I never did that. How's that working out? I'm curious to ask because I've always tuned the PA for let's say and with regular EQ and just tune it until make it sound good, basically. Well, yet I know there's a lot of requests. That's all I can say for now. But I know there's a lot of requests for LUFS metering. Exactly, Herman. Herman. Sorry, Herman. Yeah, LUFS metering is what I would like to have for a live scenario because I'm doing live stream now. Let's face it. Actually, this winter in February, I'm gonna be doing 10 TV shows with the band that I did last Saturday, and I'm mixing front of house and TV, and I'm gonna do two separate mix. I'm gonna take a post fader bus that I'm gonna use for TV. So I'm gonna mix. I'll be honest. I'm gonna not care of the venue much. I'm gonna take care of the live stream. I'm gonna mix using the live stream and make sure that it still makes sense in the room, but I will put the effort on TV because way more people will listen to the TV show than people in that room. So yeah, I will do two separate mix, and I wish I could monitor in LUFS for my main out because I will do some mastering myself. PC make nice loudness meter. Yeah, maybe they can ask the people from TC to copy that into the wing. Maybe. Uh, yeah, Pancho. The thing is, okay, I'll explain that. The thing is with the Dente card, it will probably work, but you will void your warranty. Let's say that you have some screen flickering, screen ghosting. You will void your warranty if you put the card in the console yourself, like I did myself. I void my warranty. I left the I lift the flag with that. I lose that war. I totally void my warranty by putting a card in there myself, and it's not working. So double double F. Um, I don't recommend you to do it. If you want to do it, if you have the knowledge, if you have the tools, make a really clean job enough that nobody noticed that you've been in there, or just ask your Behringer reseller to install it for you. There will probably be a fee for that, but if it's done, probably you didn't lose your warranty. That will be my recommendation. But as far as I know, there is no card available on the market now. It should be done by authorized repairman from Behringer. Where I am in Canada, it's AVL, where I need to take an appointment and go to, and probably try to bring you guys along. AVL is the distributor for all the Music Tribe stuff. So Midas, Behringer, Clark Technic, all the brand that we know and love. And I will probably get my hands on an HD96. Maybe I will try to get a video about it, the HD96. And I'll be honest with you guys, maybe in the future, this is okay, this is all speculation. I'm gonna throw you guys on something. Have you seen the Midas HD96 Air? That looks interesting to me. A lot. I'm gonna read other comments and we're gonna come back to this. Herman, why post bus instead of other master? Because I will have another EQ in the bus end. I'm gonna go here. Sorry, bus end. You have another EQ. So if I need to bright things up for TV, like big time, can I change the EQ? Is it? It's right there. It's right. I'm sure it's right there. No, it's not. Oh, anyway, I thought I could have some shelving EQ, but if I let's be honest, most of the time on TV stuff, you want to get rid of the low end and the mid range, and you wanna crank that. Oh, you didn't know about the EQ? Okay, let me throw you in for a ride. On every bus, you have option for tap point. I'm pretty sure that you knew that. You have pre, post fader, everything, but you also have an EQ on in there. Let's say that you sorry, just need to get some post approved. Illuminox, if you use that P word here, the chat will block you. I will eventually get rid of that, but this is my spam filter kicking in, so maybe I will do some try some kind of gear port. I'm willing to do that. But okay, hold on. I'm gonna show you guys this. Maybe you didn't know. EQ, tap point. You can EQ stuff out. So let's say that you have a vocal that you EQ for front of house, and you have monitor, and the singer put his hand on the mic. He's trying to cup the mic. You can in this monitor only cut down 1K5. It doesn't sound as bad. It doesn't sound like this anymore, and it will stop you from feedbacking. You have 3 EQ there. I thought you could switch them to be um, shelving or band EQ, but apparently it's just 3 band. Or am I not getting that? No, it's just a 3 band EQ. Or I don't see any way to switch it. Maybe that could be a request to have switch for that. But yeah, you can basically EQ only for the monitor with that. And that's also a feature that is in the HD96, if you guys are asking yourself about that. Uh, okay, from Ivan. Regular EQ for pink noise for PA to be mostly flat, and dynamic EQ for feeling punch and clarity. Okay, great. I will try that. You need to insert that gain rider thing on your mic as you're dropping out when you speak softly. Okay. Um, I can bring it a little closer, probably. I'm gonna do this. Sorry for all the handling noise. It's just that I have an expander on the thing, so it's probably cutting down when I'm too far. I'm not. My microphone is not going into the wing right now. Okay. Thanks for the heads up, Chris. I really appreciate. Um, I get the feel that when Stage Connect get released, then the internal dente will be released. It's not uh it's not that nobody wants to sell it to you. Honestly, it's the supply chain, the global supply chain. Nothing to do. Trust me, companies want to sell you stuff. It's their job to sell you stuff. It's just with the chip shortage. I don't know if Dente was affected by the chip maker factory that burned down. Probably, maybe. But yeah, maybe this is it. Maybe this is why we don't have access to that. Sorry. HD96 versus Wing video. No. No. I cannot compare a a console that worth 10 times less to a pro level top of the line console. It's not Apple with Apple comparison. It's just, it would make no sense, because if you are, well, actually, let's be honest here. Not a lot of you guys, no offense, have the budget or will have the budget to buy a $35,000 console. No offense. If you do, good for you. I will try to put my hand on one to try. I'm looking for the Air version. For those of you who saw it or didn't see it, it's the same top of the console with no fader, so it's cheaper, it's smaller. What appeals to me is the fact that it's about that big, so probably the same size as the Wing, but half the depth. I can put that in my car and go do a gig, and having 96 input of more than that. It's like probably 180 input, 196 output, something that crazy. And having the quality and processing of the Midas, and I can put it in the back of my car next to my DL251. That appeals to me a lot. How much are they? If it's, I'll be honest with you, if the big one is 35 grand and the Air faderless version is 25, there is no way I'm gonna buy one. The Air is 10K. Okay, I will probably spend a lot of money on it. Oh no, really? The Air is 10. Oh really? Oh man. Okay. Okay, I will probably spend a lot of money then. Um, if I do that, sadly enough, I will get rid of the Wing. Mm-mm-mm. You heard of the Heritage D, but the HD96. Well, it's the Heritage D. It's the Heritage D HD96. Yeah, Luminox. You filthy boy! Don't ever use bad language again on my channel. No, seriously, it's just a spam filter that kick in with keyword with somebody. I'm not afraid of word here. Trust me. It's just that it's the spam. If you use bad language, it just asks me to approve the comment before it goes live. Duh, duh, duh. Thanks, I did the upgrade. Well, good for you, man. Welcome to 1.6. I don't know from where you started, but if you want to take a listen at one of my other stream where I show 1.5, well, 12.5, 1.12.5, add a lot of cool feature. 1.12.6 is just adding the mouse support, so not much going on there. But take a look at my video about firmware 1.12.5 if you want to see all the new stuff in the firmware release. I've covered that before. Colin, venue I was working at, wanting to compare it to the Digico, but there was only 3 in the States. The Digico or the Midas one, because now they are apparently available. From what I know, they are pushing it. So probably the shipment arrive in the States. So no goldfish to Bugatti, la voiture noire. I don't know what that means. Sorry. Luminox. I'm not into car. If it's a car joke, I probably don't know what you're talking about. I'm into this is my stuff. This is what I like. My console. Well, if you guys are okay with that, we're gonna call it a day. I've been going on for quite some time already. Did I change the hour in this thing? No, I didn't. Okay. I was looking at it was like 4. My console tell me it's 4. I'm like, no, it can't be 4. I can't have talked that much. I hope I helped some people today. I think I did. I figure we helped Chris figure out his stuff. Arian, Phil, do his firmware update. 80 minutes? Okay, 80 minutes of me rambling is enough for you guys. I think you should need to take a break. This is a reminder, like on my girlfriend's on TikTok. Apparently every hour and a half it says, hey, take a break. Well, test it out, Chris. If it's not working, well, you got me on Facebook. One is a pet in a glass ball, and the worth $1, and the other one is a car worth 18.7 million dollar. Okay, when you have that much to spend on a car, you should think about your life priority. Okay, I get what you mean. Sorry. Yeah, no, we're not gonna do that. Well, actually, I wish. Maybe I could do that. Maybe I could do a virtual sound check and do 2 different mixes on both console. Like getting something really, getting something really small, like a 16 input thing, and take my GL251 out, get some Y splitter from somewhere, playback analog into like maybe the wing at 48K versus the air at 96K. Same preamp ish, 2 different clock, and try to have the same result in mind. Do one mix on the wing, one on the HD. Could be cool. But if I want to do that, I need way more subscriber and to get money before I even could think about buying both of these consoles. Maybe I can ask for a loaner when the Air is released, because I don't think the Air is released yet. Maybe somebody in the chat can confirm or deny that. But for the amount of money that this thing will be, I would need to have the discussion with the other person in my life. It's basically the price of a car. Mm-mm-mm. I think the wing will look pretty nice, pretty solid next to the HD96. Considering the price difference, I can guarantee you that. Law for the. Am I speaking? Am I speaking total weird stuff when I say diminishing return curve? Getting something done with the wing, it's not really expensive. Getting double the sound quality, it's really expensive. Getting more than that, I mean, you seriously for a live application, I'm not gonna talk studio. For a live application, you don't need anything other than the wing. When it's, you know, it's never it's never gonna get that better. You need the PA. Well, you need to have other element to impact what you got going there. You need to have the room. You need to have the PA. You need to have the player on stage. You need to have the player's gear before the console. And I had that discussion before when the whole is it 96K clock thing was really big on Facebook. You're not gonna get that big of a mix difference with a way bigger console, or price wise more expensive console, I should say. It's all down to what you got at the other end of the snake and what you're sending signal into. If the wing is your problem, if you think that your wing is limiting you, congratulations, you reached a spot where you need to upgrade that because it will be the weakest link in your chain. Update to a Midas HD96. But before you get there, most of the time you will have other element in the whole signal chain that will put it down, and the console would not be your weakest link. I thought the 35K cost was for a touring package with case and pre's. Maybe it is, or maybe it's 35 Canadian. So 35 Canadian will roughly drop it down to 25 US, maybe 25 euros too. Close to that. Canadian dollar worth nothing. So anyway, I will go take a look at the Midas 96 as soon as I have the option. I will try it. I'll actually try to contact my the sell rep there and ask them when can I come by with the GoPro and show you guys what they have going, and we will take a look at the HD96. I've took I was okay. Secret time here. When I went out to see the wing, it was announced, not released. Announced. I was told that they had one in Montreal. I went there. It was a demo unit. It was the first one with the right logo because the really first few prototype have a different logo on them. The wing logo. You can see guys like Patrick Gilmayo have one. Thomas on Facebook's got one. Robert also, who comments a lot in these video, have one. I've saw the first prototype or first commercial version of the wing, and next to it was the HD96, and I've played around with it, but the firmware was not there yet, and I didn't understand fully the whole thing. I think now I do better because I did my research. I understand the mental. It's really close mental. The software is really close to what we have in the wing, or option wise. It's way bigger and way deeper on the 96, but it comes from the same. I think it comes from the same team of people, team of thinking. So I'm more ready to go on the 96. I want to take a look at it and see if it's really if it worth the upgrade, because let's be honest, I can sell this thing for probably 3,000 Canadian used with no warranty, and I would need to spend 10 grand Canadian on a new one to maybe justify have better sounding sound. I want to know if it worth, the upgrade, because it will cost me around 13 Canadian to get one if it's 10 grand US. Even if I get a deal from, even if I'm working my way all the way up to the chain and asking for a great discount because I'm doing video on them, and I will do more video on them, and I can try to bargain my way in with visibility. Even if I ask for that, I'm not gonna get it for dirt cheap. So that's a lot of money. Anyhow, I will take a look at it and let you guys know if it's worth the upgrade for me as a guy who rent his console with him only. I don't rent it to public, or it never happened before that I rented to people that I don't really know. We'll see. On this note, Thank you very much for watching this live stream. I really appreciate if you can give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. All the people in the chat now, please give this video a like. I only see 2 likes and there's 10 of you right now. So we can get that up to 12. I would appreciate it. If you watch this live stream and you're not subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel. Until the next one, next Monday, please take care of yourself. Always a pleasure to have you guys around. And I'll see you guys later.